In this video, I want to help you to better understand the different types of intermittent fasting that exist so that you can better choose which one will help you to achieve your healthcare goals fastest and easiest. Hi, my name is Dr. Joe from the Southside Health and Wellness Campus, and it's our goal to help you cut through all the healthcare noise that's out there. Now, intermittent fasting is incredibly popular nowadays, and it's actually something that's existed for thousands of years. But ultimately now, because of so many people's desires to lose weight and to feel better, it's being reutilized in large part with different types of diets such as the ketogenic diet and those types of higher fat, lower carb diets. However, this is not a diet. This is a method of eating and actually a time frame of eating that can help people to achieve their healthcare goals quicker. So let's talk about the different types so that you can better choose which one's appropriate for your needs. Alternate day fasting. This is a day of fasting followed by a day of eating normal. Now, what normal means to you is very different from what normal means to someone else. If you're on a ketogenic diet, normal would be following the macros that are recommended in that diet. If you're more on a paleo type of diet or Mediterranean diet or maybe just a normal type of diet, you would alternate fasting with not fasting. Now, there's pros and cons to each of these types, and ultimately, with the pros, it might be possible to lose the most amount of weight loss doing this type of intermittent fasting. Many researchers and scientists would recommend that. However, the cons are that it is tough to adhere to and may contribute to some unhealthy long-term eating habits by skipping days so frequently in a person's eating routine. So remember, each of these is going to have some pros, each will have some cons, and it's going to depend on what you're looking to achieve and which works best for you in terms of which one to choose. Now, there's the 1 day per week fasting. This is also very common, and it's basically choosing 1 day per week that fits best into your schedule as to which day to fast. So it's very popular and reasonably easy to adhere to. And ultimately, there are some cons. It may be slightly less weight loss versus the one above because you're not fasting as much, but it will help to achieve some of your weight loss goals. OMAD, or 1 meal per day, is a tremendous way to help lose weight, and many people out there would say it's absolutely the best way to lose weight, short and long term. Now, ultimately, you have to remember when you're doing any of these fasting types, you are not trying to dramatically reduce the amount of calories you are consuming. It's vital that you try to get as many as you can so your body does not feel like it's in a diet or in a starving situation. Now, for more details on that, definitely check out the link below on comparing intermittent fasting versus caloric restriction. I go into a tremendous amount of detail as to the benefits of one versus the deficits of the other. And definitely check out the rest of our intermittent fasting series, which also talks about, is intermittent fasting working for me? So definitely check out the links below for that. But with OMAD, the pros are there is lots of weight loss, which is why so many people will try this if they're losing large amounts of weight is their goal. The cons are it can be very difficult to adhere to for some people because they're only eating 1 meal per day and they may feel not enough energy for that, or they may have challenges with their schedule in terms of when to eat that large meal. But there's definitely things to consider for each of these, and that's something that some people have success with, other people absolutely not, wouldn't be recommended for them. There's another type of fasting called the up to the 9th hour fasting. Now, this is fasting for the first 9 waking hours of the day. So for example, if you wake up at 6 a.m., you would not eat until 3 p.m., roughly 9 hours later. So the pros are it's easier for someone who isn't hungry earlier in the day. And there are some people that wake up, they don't really want to eat, but they're just told they're supposed to eat breakfast or maybe even lunch. In this situation, this would be something that would be easy for this person to apply. The cons are it may be slightly difficult for people to have maximum energy or performance for whatever it is they're doing, whether it be work or athletics or anything else like that. So you definitely have to look into that one as an option. A few other types of intermittent fasting are a 5-2 fast. Now, this is eating regularly for 5 days and reducing calories for 2 days. However, not on consecutive days. It's important to understand. You're not eating through Monday through Friday and then reducing your calories on Saturday, Sunday. Researchers have found that's not very effective to do it that way. The pros are it's effective for weight loss and for comfort, easier to do. But the cons are it's not exactly fasting in the truest sense, and it may not be as effective for some of the other health benefits that come along with true fasting when you're giving your body that longer period of not eating anything at all. Because this is not about calorie restriction. This is about giving it no food for periods of time so that the body can dip into alternate fuel sources such as body fat. But if you're feeding the body, even though it's lower amounts of calories, that may appear to the body more like a diet than it is a fasting situation. Now, nightly fasting, this is one where a lot of people are actually doing and they don't realize they're in a fasting situation, but we hear the term breakfast and that's breaking the fast. So ultimately, you're not eating after dinner, possibly 3 to 5 hours before you go to bed. So not a bad situation and health practice to do in general. The pros are maybe one of the easiest for people to adhere to because they've done it throughout their life often. But the cons are it may not be long enough for people to be in the fasting state to encourage much fat burning or the other health benefits such as autophagy that can come along with longer periods of fasting. So if you're only in a nightly fast of 10 to 11 or 12 hours, that could be helpful in many ways, but maybe not sufficient enough to get the added benefits that come along with a longer period of fasting. Now, the time-restricted fasting, and specifically the 16-8 window of fasting, is my personal preference. And this is fasting for a longer period of time followed by a shorter window of eating. So you'd be fasting for upwards of 16 hours to 18 hours, maybe 20 hours, and the remaining amount of the day you would be eating, okay, 1 or 2 meals. So the pros for this, it's very popular due to the effectiveness and comfort for weight loss and all the other health benefits that come along with intermittent fasting. And personally, when I did this, I found it tremendously beneficial for the healthcare goals I was trying to achieve at that time. And in my case, trying to reduce inflammation in my body from some older injuries I had sustained years before. The cons are it may take some time for you to get used to getting to this period of fasting as it would be for some of these other types of fasting. So to get up to 16 hours without eating, some people may have some challenges with that and they have to work up to that. So going from a 12-hour fasting window to 13 to 14 to 15, 16 and listening to their body throughout there. But definitely checking out any of these different types and seeing which one works best for you is important. So no matter what type of intermittent fasting that you do, it is vital to get enough nutrients from your food and or supplementation to improve your health. The goal of this is not one thing, such as to lose weight. The goal is to have long-term health, and by doing so, your other goals, such as weight loss, will come along with that. But if you're not getting enough nutrients and not getting enough macros in your diet, ultimately it will cause maybe the immediate changes to be occurring that you're looking for, but long term you will suffer as a result of that. So I definitely recommend making sure you're getting enough nutrients and calories and things we're going to talk about below. But please listen to your body. Your body has a lot of wisdom to it, and we often ignore that thinking, oh, I learned something, let me just do this no matter what. But definitely listen to your body. But in the first days of this may be something that you don't want to listen to your body, because if you're a little hungry after 7 or 8 hours of fasting, that's really not that long of a period of time. So that mild hunger you might immediately feel is not that big of a deal, and that ultimately by going a little bit further, your body will get easier and easier in doing this type of thing, and the listening long term is what I'm really referring to. So eating fats and proteins and carbohydrates, mostly vegetables and fiber. You don't have to have a high carbohydrate diet with a lot of processed carbohydrates in any way, but the nutrients that come from vegetables especially, and the fiber is very important when doing this. But definitely making sure those macros are in place. Vitamins and minerals that come from foods and or supplementation, if you feel like you might be deficient in something, are very important. Enzymes are in those healthy foods, those live green foods and nutrients that come from fresh vegetables as well as fruits. And then water is of vital importance. If you're not consuming enough water, that can definitely cause anything that you do health-wise to suffer and absolutely cause you to not feel like intermittent fasting is something for you. So I hope that this gives you a little bit better understanding as to which types of intermittent fasting exist, give you a little bit of insight as to which one might best suit your schedule, and then ultimately try the different types, do a little bit of additional research, and see which ones might help you to achieve your healthcare goals, both short-term and more importantly long-term, to achieve the quality of your health. So again, thank you for watching this. I hope you liked it. If you did, please hit that like button. Share it with anyone that you know that might be wanting to try to lose weight or improve their health in some way. It's a phenomenal tool. And if you also like this, please subscribe to our channel and hit that bell notification, because that's a great way for us to get information out to you with all the new information that we're revealing. So as we said, we're trying to help you cut through all the healthcare noise out there. Sometimes too much information causes us to take no action, and our goal is to help to give you the most clear and concise, easiest way to improve your health. So thank you very much again. Have a blessed day.